Hey guys, I can't see if anybody's there. Ah, there's CC. One person. Hey Jane. All right, so we'll wait a couple of seconds, a little bit, to let some other people get here before we get started. I hope you are having a good Friday, almost the weekend. All right, well, it's 4:01. So we will go ahead and get started. So if you don't know me, I'm Laura Lee Gilliland. I'm one of the WAG coaches. And today I'm going to talk to you about self-care, mindfulness, and the importance of being present. And this topic is especially important to me because when I started with WAG as a client, I signed up to change my body composition and help with my performance in CrossFit, which is why a lot of us get started, right, for results to help with performance. But about after a year and a half in, the mindfulness stuff became super important to me, and that's probably what's made the biggest difference on my journey. And I hope after our talk today that if you're not already practicing some self-care and mindfulness, that you'll be inspired to make it a part of your own daily habits. All right, so maybe your coach has already suggested that you work some of these into your daily routine, self-care and mindfulness. It can be really effective in reducing stress, which is an issue that we all deal with. So whether that's stress that's within our control, without our control, kind of introducing these practices and working on being more present can really help you reduce your stress, and it'll probably make your journey with WAG even more successful. So first, let's talk about the mind, because that's where all of the stress happens, and that's where we're trying to work some of the magic with mindfulness practices. So it's been estimated that we have anywhere from 60 to 80,000 thoughts pass through our mind every day. That's a lot. If you break it down by the math, that's about 2,500 thoughts or more per hour. And while some of these might be positive, a lot of that time we're spending worrying. You might be worrying about things that have already happened. I know I replay conversations and things over and over in my head pretty often. You might also be worrying about something that might happen in the future, and it probably won't even happen. But we lose ourselves from the present moment because we spend a lot of time worrying. So how do these thoughts affect us? With so many thoughts going through your head hourly, think about all of the things that happen in your life daily that you're distracted from because you're somewhere else in your mind instead of being in the present. When you're at work, when you're spending time with your family and friends, when you're eating, and when you're trying to go to sleep. And that's a big one. I don't think we think about eating as much, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I hear from a lot of you that you have trouble falling asleep at night because you have all of these thoughts going through your head, and mindfulness can help with this. So is there a cure? Of course there is. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. There is a way to slow down the stream of thoughts and your mental noise and your worrying. There's one place in our minds that we can be. We're not worrying about the past. You're not worrying about what might happen. And that place is when you are truly and 100% engaged in the present moment. So how do you get there? You stay engaged in the present by practicing mindfulness. And I say practice because it's a habit. And like any habit, getting better at it and feeling more comfortable doing it takes practice and work. It's not going to be like a light switch. You might not feel like you're good at it the first time, the first couple of times that you try, and you might even feel like it's not working the first couple of times that you try it. But the more that you do it, the easier it's going to be, and the better you're going to feel about it and its effects. And that's kind of like counting macros, right? The more you do it, the better you get, the more comfortable you are. All right, so there's a lot of different ways that you can practice self-care and mindfulness. True mindfulness practices like meditation and breath work are going to be the best ones or the most effective, because those are the ones that truly put you in that present moment and force you to kind of calm your mind. But I'm going to give you some other options that are just really good for self-care. And even if you're not a fan of meditation and you give it a try and it doesn't work for you, there's still a lot that you can work into your daily routine that will reduce stress and benefit you a lot. So the first I'm going to talk about is my favorite meditation, and I'll tell a story about myself before we dive into it. But when I said it takes practice and you might think it doesn't work the first time, that was me. I tried a different app than the one that I use now. And the first 2 times I cut off midway. I was like, this is silly. Like, this does nothing for me. My stress has not lessened. I feel more stressed because I'm not good at this. All right. So I gave it another try. Maybe I waited like 6 months to try again. And I used a different app that somebody had recommended, and it worked really well. So that being said, might be difficult to get into first. It takes some practice. And I would start with guided meditations, and that's going to be where somebody else is walking you through it and they're telling you what to think about and guiding you throughout the way. My favorite app is called Insight Timer. You can download it on your phone, and I like it because it has all different categories. It has different speakers. It has different lengths. I would definitely recommend starting off with something really short, because there are some that are like over an hour long, and if you've never done it before, that can be kind of overwhelming. So start short, start with 5 minutes. I think there's some that even are just a minute long, but you know, aim a little higher than that. And then pick a category that really suits you. There's like sleep, stress, emotional healing, creativity, performance. So there's something out there for everybody. And then something that might be a little simpler is breath work. And that's just where you're simply focusing on your breathing, and it can help calm you and center your mind. And when you're focusing on the breath, it's less likely that you're going to be worrying about something else. You can just pay attention to your breath going in and out, but my favorite method is called the 4-count square method. It's where you take a 4-second inhale, 4-second hold at the top, 4-second exhale, and 4-second hold at the bottom. And I just think of it like a square in my mind, and I repeat counting over and over again until I feel more calm. So that's breath work. Another good one is just getting outside, going out in nature. Of course, you have to have good weather for that, but take 10 to 15 minutes a day to go for a walk or to just sit outside. And to really work on being present requires a little bit of intention. So pay attention to the things that are around you and use your senses. So notice the smells. Notice how a breeze or the sun feels on your skin. Notice the sounds that you hear, and pay attention to the different things that you see. And it sounds really simple, but when you're doing that and you're paying attention and being mindful of what's around you, again, you're more engaged in the present and less likely to be worrying and stressing about other things that have happened or are going to happen. All right. And now we'll talk about how this is going to help with your relationship with food. So learning to stay in the present can have a big impact on how we eat and our relationship with food. And we had a couple of questions about this when I posted earlier this week in the Facebook group. So think about when you sit down to have a meal. How many times a day do you eat in front of your computer? in front of your TV with your phone in your hand. I know I'm guilty of it. Probably, 99% of us are. And again, this is something that requires being super intentional. But how many times a day do you finish a meal and you don't even remember eating it? Or you don't know if you enjoyed it, or know how long it took you to finish that meal because you were trying to eat as fast as you could just to get on to the next thing. Being present when you eat can help you become better at listening for your hunger cues. You're not just eating to eat, you're eating because you're actually hungry. You're slowing down to eat, and that will help you recognize when you're actually full. It can really help improve with your digestion when you're eating more slowly. And it's going to help you appreciate and enjoy your food more. And that's a big part of working on improving that relationship with food. So some habits that you can practice that are going to help with that, to be more present when you eat. Remove all distractions. So this is a hard one. This is hard for me because I want to work when I eat. Like, I want to be super productive, but just practicing what I preach, it means closing my computer, putting my phone away, turning the TV off, just being 100% present, whether it's by myself or eating with another person, and enjoying their company, but you want to be 100% engaged in the present. Chew longer, okay? We talked about slowing down while you eat. Just enjoy the way that your food tastes. And this might sound silly, but try timing yourself. Try to take a little bit longer every day when you eat breakfast. Enjoy your food more. Also, something that can kind of stretch out that time is putting your fork down between bites, drinking some water. Just slow it down, be more present. How mindfulness can help your progress with WAG. So this is how stress ties in. If you've been on this journey for a while, you've probably had a week or several weeks where you were super consistent with your macros. You thought you were doing everything you were supposed to do, but maybe your stress metric was really high. And correlating with that, the scale didn't move, or you didn't see it move as much. Have you ever noticed that before? Being super busy, being stressed, being tired or low energy, and then that affects what happens with your progress. So slowing down the thoughts in your mind, working on being more present, practicing mindfulness, it can help reduce stress, and that can help you fall asleep faster and sleep better. It can help improve your relationship with food. Talked about this, improving digestion, reducing hunger. Being more intentional about the quality of your food choices and getting enough water because you're thinking about it more, you're being more intentional. And it can help you be more present in all aspects of life. And really, when we're present and engaged, there's so much more joy. And when you're happy and you're enjoying the little things, you're so much less likely to be stressed. So this is how mindfulness can kind of reduce the stress. And hopefully that's going to help you make progress, even more progress on your journey with WAG in so many different ways. I promised alternative self-care practices just in case. Getting out in nature, meditating, breath work, if it's not for you, that's fine. I still would encourage you to spend 15 to 20 minutes a day engaging in some kind of self-care practice. Love on yourself. That's why we're here. We're trying to do something that's going to make us better, make us happier. So if the mindfulness practices aren't your jam, a couple of other go-tos are keeping a gratitude journal. And it can be super short, like 5 bullet points a day of things that you're grateful for. One of my favorites, and I do this in addition to my meditation, I would say several nights a week, is taking an Epsom salt bath. So that has direct physical benefits as well as mental if you're present and engaged. I have some clients who enjoy adult coloring books. It's just a really great way to like zoom in and be super present and engaged in something and kind of reduce the amount of worry and stress. You can read, find good podcasts to listen to, or just listen to some relaxing music. And then yoga and Ramwad. You know, you're kind of taking care of two things there. You're doing something that's good for your body and your mind because you're just very relaxed and very present. But those are some of those alternative self-care practices, and you can mix it up, try different things. I would start with 15 to 20 minutes a day and try to use this at a point in your day where you know you need it most. So if you have trouble sleeping, work that into your bedtime routine. Take 15 minutes before you go to bed and practice mindfulness or read a book or do something that's going to help you relax, practice some breath work. Once you get into a good rhythm with doing that daily, go for twice a day. Like the more you can do this, the more you'll reduce stress, the better you're going to feel. So it's a good goal to set to start making this a daily practice and then build on it. Do it twice a day. You can't get enough self-care time. All right, guys, so that is all I have. If you have any questions, want some advice, have anything specific, I'm happy to answer. Hey guys, I'm seeing y'all's comments now. I just scrolled down. Thank you for watching. If y'all don't have any questions, then I just want to say thanks for taking the time to watch this afternoon. And I hope you all have a great weekend and do something good for yourselves. Bye, guys.